Okay guys, welcome to the custom time access README video. Basically, you can follow along with the README file that you found inside your folder that was placed on your desktop automatically when you ran the CTA Setup.exe. Or just watch this video, and you'll have everything you need to get up and running. Okay, so again, on your desktop when you ran the CTA Setup.exe file that you downloaded from the internet, there was this directory placed. Now I have it inside of another folder, but don't be thrown by that. It's basically the same exact folder that was put on your desktop. So you probably already double clicked and opened that, within which inside which you have found this README, again, the quick start README. Now I'm going to go ahead and double click that, open that anyway, because I want to kind of follow along with it, but I wanted to cover the other files that are in this folder. I didn't go through all the README. I'm going to touch on those real quick for you here, because the video, it's easier to do that. Okay, individual files. I wanted to assure you that don't get too stressed about that. You have no reason to ever go in and use these individual files. The reason I put them there, it's redundant. They're just duplicates. They're the same exact thing that's already been installed in whatever local platforms you've chosen during your installation setup process. But I put them here because it's a lot easier to find them if you ever want to go and manually install them or switch them out, mix and match, what have you. A lot of times when you buy EAs or indicators, you don't get the files separately, and you have to jump through a bunch of hoops if you're not comfortable in the MetaTrader environment, find all of those, and pull them out. You don't know if you have all the proper, files that should integrate, the DLLs and all that. So anyway, they're all in there for you if you ever want them, individual files. Okay. Also the manual, yes, please read the manual. There's a lot of good information in there, even though it's a fairly inexpensive little utility, the indicator that's been created here for you to install on MetaTrader. There's a lot to it, actually. So read the manual and you'll really get the most out of your indicator. Of course, as time goes on, I'm going to still be even making that thing even better, and you'll be notified of that as well and get a new manual when that comes, and that'll be free for you. Okay, and then of course the quick start, which you're reading, already perhaps started reading, and there's this wonderful little show my CID tool. Alright, we're going to cover that and why I chose to do that and why you're having to do that right now. But again, let's just go back to the README. Now, there's all the files again for you. Now, there's about 5 steps. It's not real complicated, but if you go through in this sequence, it'll make things a little bit easier for you. So the first thing you want to do is go to the web page where we're going to authorize your CTA and get it fired up for you. Now, if you've tried to run it previous to this, you might have used a few choice words when you saw it close down your chart that you tried running it on. Sorry about that, but it's just the way the security people have set it up, so that if anybody ever tries to run it that's not authorized, yep, you bested it. It just shuts down your chart, and as many times as you try to reboot it, or if you have a chart running and you try to put CTA on it before it's been authorized, it'll do the same thing. Okay, so hopefully you haven't done that, but after we do this process, it'll open up like a charm. So again, first thing you want to do, if you're kind of new to, not real comfortable with browsers, you're going to want to paste in this URL or address. It's not clickable. Can't just left click it if it's not doing anything when you're trying to do that. It's no accident. You can't, in notepads, well, it does not allow you to set up hyperlinks, which is what those are called. So just copy and paste it. Left click, hold down your left button and drag it until you've selected everything, and then hold down the control key. That's the lower left front corner of your keypad. Hold it down with one finger and then just touch the C key. That copies what's selected to what's called the clipboard of your computer. Alright, and then you can click anywhere in the document here to unselect it. Then what you want to do is go over to your browser. Okay, we're at the Google Start page right here. You want to select the address bar and delete that, or you don't even have to delete it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then you're going to hold down and obviously you're going to put the left cursor up there, right? Click inside there and hold down that control key again, and this time touch the V as in victory key, and that pastes in the address which you just copied from the README file. All right, and so there it is. I may change that in the future. It may be a little bit long, but for now that's the one we're using. I'll let you know if that ever changes. Okay, and then hit enter. there you go. We are now at the authorization page. You've got about 5 fields to put in here. Not about. You actually have 5 fields that you're going to want to populate, as they say. And so the first one we're going to do is this computer ID down here. So I wanted you to go to the website first before we go and capture that ID. So let's go back over to your folder, your directory that has the Show My CID in it. Go ahead, double click that, and that will automatically go into your computer and grab what's known as your computer ID. A computer ID is a number that is created from the hardware in conjunction with the system software that you're using, and it's unique to your computer. Okay, no other computers in the world have that same ID, and so you want to copy that to the clipboard. And again, you can do that either by left clicking and dragging, hitting Control C. And if you're a computer person, you've probably already done that, or just hit copy to the clipboard button. All right, and then you want to migrate back over to your website, which is already waiting for you, up and running. You want to left click inside the top field, because this is your first computer you're doing this with. Left click inside there, and you can either hold down Control and then V for victory, and it'll paste the number. Or you can right click inside the field, and this is what I think I said inside the README, and just go down and select paste. And so that'll paste that number, which is your computer ID, your unique computer ID, which is on your keyboard. Or you could have done the same thing by hitting Control V for victory, and it would have pasted it in. But since we don't need 2 of the same computer, we're going to delete that. Okay. So now all we have to do is finish filling in the rest of these fields here. Now the key I want to really underline here for you is make sure it is precisely what's in your PayPal account. Your first name, your last name, your email, and the PayPal transaction ID. Sometimes we forget what emails we have attached to our PayPal. Sometimes we use nicknames. We forget that we use our full name. So the one way to ensure that we're using the exact information, because this is not forgiving, all right? This is not Jesus, all right? This thing will hold you to the dot. If you have anything off, even a space, it will not allow you to authorize your CTA. So the best way to make sure you're using the proper information is just go to the receipt that you got when you purchased CTA. Everything is right there for you. So you can, I'm sure, remember your name, but if there's any doubts or if you sometimes misspell your name, I believe it or not, I get some bizarre names of customers from all over the world. Of course, you just want to either copy and paste it or print that in there. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to be consistent, and I'm just going to copy and paste everything. Make sure you don't do what it looks. You might have caught what I was doing. If you just select up, a little bit too much, it's going to select everything, and then you're going to try to copy that and make a world of hurt for yourself. So just make sure you just selected just what you need and hit, again, Control C, run back over to the interface, which actually is on another tab, so I don't know why I'm trying to go the other way. And left click inside and Control V. Again, go down to the last name, same thing. Again, I'm too finger happy here on my keyboard. I just have to be switching between tabs. I'm trying to keep it moving quickly for you. I know some of this is kindergarten for a lot of you. Sorry to drag you through it all. Okay, PayPal email. Again, some of us tend to forget which email was attached to our PayPal account. I get this all the time with customers as I do correspondence with them. They'll write me and they'll use a different email than they have in their PayPal account, and I always have to validate that, or I can't find them. In the worst case, I can't even find them. And so you want to make sure you use your PayPal email, and you don't want any spaces before that, okay? So paste that in there, and last but not least, your PayPal transaction ID. That's the number that's going to be in the upper right of your receipt that you got in your email. Now, sometimes it says the number sign or the pound sign or the ampersand sign in front of the number. Now, I did something intentionally here for you. You notice that there's a little, some of you probably already caught it, I've highlighted the number plus a space to the left of it. Now, you don't want to do that. Or if you do that, no worries. go back over on the website. You're going to left click in there and you're going to paste it. Here's what I want to tell you. If you happen to do that and you try to authorize it and it doesn't go through, just realize you may have a space in front of, maybe if not your transaction ID, but it could be your email or your name, or even the computer ID. But if you do the system that I showed you with the clicking on the button, you won't have a space there. So anyway, you don't want a space in front of it. You do not want that. Don't be that person that does that. And if you do happen to have a space, easy. Highlight it and hit the left click, and now you eliminated any space in front of it. And of course, you don't want a space after it either. Okay, so there you go. Everything is in, and of course I've grayed out, blurred out all of the specifics here because we don't want to be spreading that all over the internet, do we? Okay, so, but I'm going to tell you the last piece, which that's the perfect segue to. Regarding the number of computers that you can run CTA on, and why I chose the CID security scheme. It might seem like a hassle right now, but believe it or not, I did it because it'll make your life so much easier in the future. Why is that? Well, you may have bought indicators or EAs in the past, and you always have to put in either your demo account or your real account, or they'll let you have an unlimited number of demo accounts and only one real account or two or whatever. And every time you want to switch that, you have to go get that account number and put it in your indicator, go online and do that, whatever. But basically, every time you're turning around, you're wanting to use it on a platform that you don't have set up, right? Well, I didn't want people to have to deal with that. I mean, it's a nice little inexpensive little tool. Last thing I wanted you to have to do is pay for it over and over for months and years to come by having to jump through all kinds of hoops. I mean, hey, if you're running it on your computer that you have an ID put in there, you can literally put it on any broker platform anywhere in the world, an unlimited number of them, 100, 1,000, whatever you want to run in your computer. Have at it. You know what? Once you got the ID put in there, you don't have to play that game. Now, if you ever change your hardware, like a hard drive or processor or anything like that in your computer, as well as if you ever reinstall Windows or put another operating system, yes, it's also going to affect the CID and you're going to have to run that little tool again. Okay? Enough said with that. But last but not least, yes, you only have 3 computers. As much as you can run it on those 3 computers, rest assured, if you ever want to change a computer, and that's why I say right here, be sure to record which CID relates to which your computers in the event you perform a hardware change. And I should have said or software, but I specifically mean your system software, because that does affect the CID as well. And by the way, while I'm talking about this is one reason why this is not compatible with Macintoshes, at least right now, because on a Macintosh and Apple products, the computer ID changes, believe it or not. Every single time you reboot it, it changes the CID. So I wasn't able to make it compatible with that if I wanted to use the CID. So fortunately, there's not a huge number of people using Macs. Okay, but that's why another reason that it's not capable for Macs. Okay, but here's the thing. If you have this already put into your Macs of 3 computers, rest assured you want to help out your cousin and your neighbor, your friend, your trading buddy, or what, or somebody in a forum someplace. Just know, whoever puts this in on their machine, the moment they go to this website and put in another computer, you're going to sacrifice one of the ones that you had in there previous to that. It's not an unlimited number, and it is indiscreet in terms of who and what does it. So you want to guard your PayPal transaction ID, your PayPal email, your name, as well as all these files, because, yeah, that's what security is all about, so you don't wind up seeing it all over the internet and people giving away and getting for free what you just paid good money for. Okay? So it also motivates me to continue making this thing better and better and better, where you will never have to pay for that again. And that's one of the benefits of having great security on this. Okay? So once you put the ID in there, just write down which computer is which ID, because in the future, if you want to switch that machine out, that's the one that you need to go in there and make sure you put the new ID of the replacement machine in there, because it will wipe out the previous. And rest assured, just as I've been saying, that one, CTA, will no longer work on it, and you'll have the same problem you may have already had trying to run it where it shuts down your chart. Okay? Once that's done, you're ready to rock and roll. Just go ahead and click the authorize button. Sometimes it takes a few seconds, sometimes 15. In this case, it just was a few seconds. Guess what? You are ready to roll. And so when you go back to your charts now, want to run it, it'll take a little bit longer the first time to go ahead and handshake with the security server, and after which, from then on, it should go pretty quickly when you want to apply CTA to a chart. So there you go. You should be all set and enjoying CTA, like I said, on as many platforms as you care to fire it up on your computer. So thanks again. Any questions, feel free to email me. All of that's in the README as well. And again, make sure you read that manual. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And right to the right of this video you're watching, the manual is also in video form. Isn't that cool? All right. So thanks again, and make a lot of money.